Hello there, welcome back. By this time, all of the episodes for the basic Yuoki Industries should be already on the playlist. I've had reports that my voice was hard to hear because of the recording settings. I think I've fixed this problem. Hopefully this time around we won't have this same problem. So, um, I hope that you enjoyed the previous episodes. This time around we will be talking about Y engines and as well as profit from war. So Y engines is a experimental add-on. It has a lot of features that Yuoki is working on, and he experiments with them. And basically, we should not think that any of the buildings in Y engines are fixed. Okay, they are in a state of flux. So to do this review or walkthrough is a little difficult, but I will try to manage. So let's talk about the buildings. I will try to do this Y engines in maybe 3 episodes. We'll see. Maybe 2, I don't know. Depends on how much I feel should be covered, because some of the aspects of Y engines are rather complicated. So the buildings themselves, there are not many. You see that if you click under this tab, you see a lot of fluid formulas. Okay, but building themselves, not too many, because this is mainly a base where Yuoki tests his engines and the new buildings that he will add to his mod. So I've broken the buildings down to just 3 things. You basically have 3 of the engines that creates what's called hydraulic pressure fluid. I would call it mechanical fluid for short. Okay, so MF. But in the code, it's actually called hydraulic pressure fluid. And there's actually another fluid that acts in a similar way, but it's no longer used. Okay. Anyways, don't worry about that. So the other one that you see is a pump that uses mechanical fluid or hydraulic pressure fluid to make water. Another one called fluid handle machinery. This is a recent addition. I asked Yuoki to add this, and he granted my wish. What it does is it allows you to bottle up a lot of the fluids in this add-on. A third one is actually also named after me, My Cycle Engine. This one has a very nice use. Initially, it wasn't actually used as a pollution scrubber. Initially, it was actually used as a way to make energy, but now it's actually a pollution scrubber, which actually can still be used to make energy. You'll see in a bit. And the third one is a fast assembly A. So this is an upgrade to the vanilla assembler 3. It actually crafts at speed up 2 instead of the speed up 1.25, was it? I forget. What was the speed of this? Yeah, 1.25. So it's a bit faster. Okay. Now, not all of the recipes under the fast assembly A is available to it. So I think it can craft most of the actually not most, but all of the vanilla recipes, but not all of the Yuoki recipes. So there are recipes in here that it cannot craft. Okay, exactly which I don't recall at this moment, but there are recipes that it doesn't work with. Okay. And of course, I did not talk about this yet because it's rather complicated, but this, just call it these farms for now. Okay, so he added farms. Now, third set of buildings are these over here. You can see that there are 3 of them are work in progress. In fact, all of these are work in progress, but this is recently these 3 here are recent additions, and they do not have their icon yet. But essentially, one is a overheater. What it does, it makes steam. Another one is called a steam turbine. What it does, it converts the steam into mechanical fluids or hydraulic pressure fluid. And the last one is actually a very large generator. Okay, and this here is a new, upgraded, beefy version of the obelisk reactor. So he calls it, this one is the Rheinsberg. It's beefy because it creates 50 megawatts of heat, and it has a 98% efficiency. So we'll deal with that in a bit. All right. So the first thing I will go over is the steel chest, the first one. Okay. So let's get familiar with these engines. They have a very nice graphics to them. These two pistons actually go up and down as it works. So the idea behind these engines are this: you give it a fuel, in this case some kind of liquid fuel, and what it does is it combines water and some other things, say either light oil or lubricant or heavy oil, one of those, and it creates a second fluid. It's called hydraulic pressure fluid. Okay, so from now on I'll call this MF. Okay, if I say MF, you know it's hydraulic pressure fluid. What is hydraulic pressure fluid? Well, as you know, Factorial, you don't have any kind of shaft power, right? You don't have any kind of gear power. Everything is either a liquid or some things that magically convey some kind of mechanical force, right? You have electrical power, but you don't have shaft power. So Yuoki decided to use fluid as a kind of shaft power, okay? So these things, these liquid fuel or solid fuel engines, they create this MF, and MF is a fluid that has a very high heat capacity. It also has a very high temperature that it can be achieved. What this amounts to is that you can store a lot of energy in the fluid. Okay. What separates this fluid further from water is that it flows very slowly. So if you don't know how to use this, you will have the fluid sort of backing up in the pipes, and it won't go down the pipes after a certain distance. Okay. Something that I forgot to mention are these very nice transmission units. So let's look at them just before we talk about the engines. Okay, so why should you use these to transmit the MF? The reason has to do with, well, the graphics, right? Let's get a stack of them because I feel like we need to somehow build them a bit. Okay, so they stack in 100, as you can see. You will notice that they connect differently than the vanilla pipes. Okay. The second thing that separates them from vanilla pipes is that these only stores 0.3 bases. What that means is it only stores 3 units of fluid. Okay. Why is this good? You will see in a moment. Like I said before, mechanical fluids are very slow moving and very viscous. So you want a pipe that has a small volume. That way it will force the fluid to be distributed into other pipe sections. Okay, so they look different from vanilla pipe, and they have a different basis or base level. That's the word that's in the Lua. So just consider it as a volume. So these are the two different ones. They're the same thing. Okay, so these are above ground, and then you also have the underground ones. The underground ones look like this. Okay. Oops, I connect the wrong color. So, okay. Now they don't rotate, and that's a sad thing about Factorial. I wish that these actually rotates, but you can't animate pipes. Until it's fixed in the code, you cannot animate pipes. But anyway, you can sort of, understood how they work. So I'll toss these into this test over here. Alright. There's one more engine actually that I forgot. It's the pocket Stirling engine. Pocket Stirling engine, yes. Yes, this also does not have a graphic yet. Okay, I think that's it. The other ones are simply intermediate materials. Okay, so let's put the intermediate materials over here then. You have this, you have this, you have this. That's it, I think. Yes. Yeah, let's put them here. Alright. Okay. So, where were we? Let's talk about the liquid fuel engine. Okay. So, this is a liquid fuel engine. You want to get familiar with it. It will always use some water. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of fuel you're going to burn, quote unquote burn. It will always use water, and it will always need electricity. Okay? So, if you click on it, you will see that it has 3 recipes here. Alright. You can see that it takes fluid in this order. So water on the bottom, the heavy oil in the middle, and the lubricant at the top. Okay, it's always going to be this. So water, at least for the liquid fuel engine, will always be on the bottom. Alright, so what happens when we provide it with some heavy oil? Well, I'm going to get some unicomp. Actually, I won't get some unicomp. I don't need to do that. I have my own source of unicomp. This is something of an experimental map. I use this to test out things that is Yucatani related. Alright, so you will refine. Yes, okay, good. Do I have enough distance? Yes, I do actually. So let's route this backward. We're gonna convert this into unicomp. That way I don't have a chest over here. Yes. Alright. So this should be running. Yes, it is. So as you can see, as it is running, I connected this tank directly to it, but you can also connect using these nice pipes. Okay, so let's demonstrate the use of these pipes. Okay, so I believe, yes, this means this. So you want it like this. Yes. So this connects it to here, and that's the output. Okay. Okay. Do you notice how they flow? They flow very slowly. Okay. This is using his pipes. If you instead use vanilla pipes, this is what you get. Tiny amount in this pipes. It would take forever for these things to flow. Okay, and they tend to back up the pipes. You notice already that they're backing up. So this part here will fill faster than this other end over here. And if you had a machine on this other end, say a generator, that's consuming it, it's very likely that you won't be able to produce supply enough of that MF to the generator, even though on this end you may in fact make more than enough, okay, to supply it if you were to connect the generator directly. So both the blue and red are similar. Why is it not going in? Interesting. I do not know why this is not going in. Red power transmission shaft. Power transmission shaft. It should be the same. Oh. an idiot. We ran out of stuff. What stuff did we run out of? Oh, yes. We had too much light oil. Oops. There we go. Okay. This should connect directly. Yes, it does. See? It should be the same amount too, I believe. Yes, it should be. This should all be filled up to 3. Let's wait a bit. Yep, 3. So that's the max amount. Okay, so that's how you generate 1mf. The other formula is light oil, or light oil. So we have lots and lots of light oil. Okay, light oil. Remember, it always needs water as well as lubricant. So this is one of the ways in which you can burn your lubricant. Vanilla Factorial players tends to have lots of lubricant lying around, unless they're making lots and lots of robots. Okay, and the last formula is vegetable oil. Alright, what is vegetable oil? Vegetable oil is a renewable source of, quote, lubricant. Okay, you can get the vegetable oil from farming. Okay, so we won't go into the vegetable oil in this moment, but just know that you can actually burn vegetable oil, okay, to make MF. So that covers basically the liquid fuel engine. Okay, the solid fuel engine operates on the same principle, but it doesn't need electricity. It takes solid fuel and it creates MF. The unique part about the solid one is that it can actually use straight water. Okay, so let's say you don't have excess oil, you just want some MF, you can just use water, and the water will create for you MF. Okay, the amount of MF that you create is actually small though, so it requires 20 water just to make 1.8 hydromechanical power. Okay, so you might want to consider the amount of water that you need to supply if you're going to use a lot of MF. The other one that is available to it is lubricant. Okay, now this is something that I think is a mistake. You notice in the other machine the water is on the bottom. Okay, this here, the lubricant is on the bottom, so perhaps this is a mistake. It's actually an easy fix mistake. You can just swap the location or the order of the recipes, and this would appear in the right order. So this should appear at the top, and the water should appear at the bottom. So the lubricant is at the top, and the water at the bottom. Anyways, so it too will generate MF using some water and a little bit of lubricant. Okay, and you get 3. So the thing that I didn't go over is the different formulas, right? You can simply have a look for yourself of how much mechanical force you can generate using different kind of burning different kind of fluids. The other one, okay, this one here, I think I forgot one building. Yeah, I actually did. I don't know where it is. It's supposed to be in there. No, I don't want you. This one. There we go. So the other one is the small electric motor. Now this is your go-to MF generator if you have tight space and you have lots and lots of power. Okay, what it does is just purely generates MF using electricity. Alright, so this goes back to the idea that Yuoki wanted to use the shaft power in order to transmit shaft power. Okay, and because you can have shaft power, but you can transmit fluid. So he substituted fluid for the transmission of shaft power. So that's how it works. Okay. All right. So that leaves us to the 2 last ones. Stirling generator. This one generates MF using just solid fuel, any kind of solid fuel. So why is this useful? Let's say you have a outpost and you don't want to set up electricity. You can use this in place of the electric generator to generate the MF that you need, small amount of MF that you need. Okay. This one is actually quite polluting, so watch out. You're going to use it. Okay. And finally, the last one. Now, think of this building as a reactor, like a boiler, but it doesn't boil any liquid. And what it does is just generate lots and lots of MF by burning or transforming 3 different kinds of item. Okay, the first item is you can transmute your unicomp, and it will give you MF. Okay, this, although the formula says 100 times quadrinum fission, right? He's actually trying to emulate a fission reactor here using quadrinum. Okay, so that's why the formula says quadrinum fission. But actually, all it does is just generates 100 units of MF. Instead of buying the transmuted UCA2 or unicomp, you can burn the unicomp itself, and it will give you 25 quadrinum fission, or 25 MF. And the last one you can burn is the instable quadrinum. Okay, we haven't talked about instable quadrinum yet, or what it is, but it generates quite a bit here, so you can generate 500 MF. Okay, so that's it. That's all this building does. You can't put efficiency module in it, so you can either surround it with beacon if you want to lower the amount of energy that it uses, or you can want to speed it up to you. But that's all it does. It generates lots and lots of MF. So that marks the end of this particular episode. I wanted to go further, but I think that would be too long. So I will see you in the next episode.